Alright guys, let me jump on this frangible bullet thing. Frangible bullets here, hold on. So as we look at the gun presented to us, now just talking about considering this is the gun that they're stating that the shooter used, that it's not a prop, it's not just something the FBI just sets up. This is it's not tagged. It's not tagged. It doesn't appear to be tagged appropriately. Hold on. Okay, here we go again. It doesn't appear to be tagged appropriately or locked out appropriately. Let's see if I can do this for you. So right here should be a lock going through here. The bolt actually be slid back and a lock going in there, so it can actually be fired. The other thing we have good evidence here is this setting. Considering he didn't change his settings on the scope, we can match to see if this would be the range. What range this shoots at? All right, what does it qualify at with that distance? They can exactly match the distance and go test fire this. Is that a $2,000 scope? No, I don't think that's the $2,000 scope that he's reported to stated there in the recordings. I mean, in this writing. Now let's get rid of that and let's go to. So just a general search. Now all of a sudden this looks like this article says here's the rifle. As you can see, no scope on this one. This time it's a polished. It's polished, and I don't know what that wood it's supposed to be hanging from a board or something. And there's your tag, double L's, shooting sports. So that is not it. That's some it's a fake image. But nevertheless, that's not how you lock out for police evidence this rifle. This one. Now the bullets are supposed to have written on them. Now let's show you some bullets here. So here I'm bringing you to frangible bullets. They'll look like this. The bullets we want to see. The bullet heads. These are the ones that will break up upon impact and not go through Charlie Kirk. So when you finally do find the real bullets that they do show, look for this pattern, not just a solid head. And that's going to be the bullet that explains why. And then we don't need the keyholing bullet, just so you know. And these will be the, issued during, as you see, 1944 even. So this will be the frangible bullet. It's going to break up. Let's see if I can find a frangible video to help you understand frangible, how it just disintegrates. It's almost like think of it like an ice cube, James Bond style. But here are other versions of the frangible bullet. As you can see. Let me give you the article. You can find it yourself. If you look up Special Purpose Unique Bullet Color Tip 30-06 Frangible WW2 World War II. Remember, the grandfather gave it to him, so I'm assuming from that point. Let's go from there. Oops. Okay, so this is it says frangible bullet, 9 years ago. Let's watch this.
It's called the frangible. Unlike conventional bullets that remain intact, frangibles penetrate flesh, but break up into small, less harmful pieces upon contact with anything hard.
Conventional projectiles are made with a lead core.
Let's see if we can find. Okay, here we go.
Centerfire, the major maker of frangibles, says of its product, our bullet can penetrate a bad guy's head.
Look at that. Just went to the Coke soda.
But it won't come out the other side.
All right, there we go. Remember, you got all these experts there telling, oh, here's another video. Should I use frangible bullet rifles 5 years ago, down below. Yeah. So, frangibles existed forever. Will this guy have a frangible? It's just an option. The other one is we just need to see the bullets. The other bullets he has. It does not mean that he still didn't use a frangible. The other thing is you will not be able, technically you can trace it. All metals touching each other, a hammer touching a nail, have traded metals, and they're microscopically can shit, my brain's frozen on that. You can match the metals if they came in contact. So can they go that deep? Will they go that deep? Probably not. Interesting on the video, the guy running off the roof. Remember, he says that he went to school for construction engineering. I watched him jump from the roof. It's interesting. He turned around pretty skillfully. I've jumped from many heights, and we'll just leave it at that for a moment. But many heights, and he jumped with skill. He landed with both his feet, and let it spring action going on, and came back up. I was impressed. A lot of times you'll wind up on your hiney jumping from that height. He did turn around to face the ground. You're going to fall when you jump and you release and you fall back. You will hit your ass. You will go down backwards. But he was able to turn his body correctly so, and land with both feet on the ground, which was, if you slow down the video, which I won't bother, you can look at it yourself. Both feet beautifully aligned. I was like, wow, that is some good jumping technique. You know, who told him that? That's Bruce sneezing now. It's darn, they've seem to be having this, all the kitties they're slowly picking up this virus that's going to go through them, as the vet said. It's just going to happen. They're all going to get it. So there's your frangible bullet. Will it be frangible? You guys can tell me if you see the bullet first, if you can find the real bullets with the marking on them, which I couldn't find. I only find, deep fakes, with this writing on it. Remember, he's reported to give up the data in a text message to his boyfriend about it, so that's kind of weird. He wants to get away with it, but then he tells him everything, including where the rifle is, including it's untraceable, so it just pins him back to him. That's why I said that, is this a Trojan horse? Is he supposed to be the one that you try to prosecute, and it turns out it's not you're just not going to develop a strong case? Now, people say, well, they got to be pretty smart. Well, it's definitely a conspiracy, but don't underestimate that boy or the people planning something like this. Why would you underestimate them? Why say that would just take too much brains? Why would you say that takes too much brains? It's quite simple, in fact, if they coordinated it. But the thing is, it would all be conspiracy to commit murder, and they'd all get the first degree murder charge. All of them. So I just don't get why they, that's Bruce sneezing again. I just don't get it. So, I know the Cash Patel and all of them have to, they're getting upset with all these videos that are just making monetization, just making money. That one guy, Valhalla, whatever his name is, it's just boring. He just, every time a wind blows, he's like, yep, that's it. Yep, this is it. Oh, that's it. He's just making money for YouTube. He's just making YouTube money. But here we have a frangible, and we also have the keyhole. We need to slow this bullet down, and you can slow it down through multiple ways. Wrong bullet inside the gun. He made the round himself, but then you'd have to go back to that scope, and hopefully it's left where he last used it, and the settings, and then you could try to see if you could make that shot. Well, of course they got shooting ranges they can do that at. Elevated position, you just simply go up on a man lift, lock it down, and make the shot. Or even a scissors lift would do that, which is even more stable platform to make the shot from the distance downwards into, just see if you can do it with the scope. What they have, where would you be aiming? You'd have to do it at elevation also. So at the elevation they're at. So, that Utah elevation, not down in the desert. All right, I'm going to end the video, but now you understand frangible bullets, and this is another way to get there. I want to take this time to thank you also for your memberships, and it goes to the cats, and I'm sorry for not making more content right now. I'm just dealing with 5 sick kitties. As you know, Bruce is going through his thing. I do have some content, some Bolt stuff. And George goes George goes Monday, so George's going to be without me for a week, and I'm going to be without him for a week. So we're both going to have separation anxiety starting Monday. I'm not really laughing because it's true. Monday through maybe Friday, I'll get him back. Late case Saturday, and then the reunion happens. So I'll show you Monday him leaving, and then separation anxiety will be the whole week. Kind of weird, but I've got to trust the system here and let somebody else take my George for a week. And it's very safe, the I-131. And he did have his echo done, and Doc was like, he was done in like 10 minutes. He's like, his heart's great. He was showing me how the cat's hearts and dogs' hearts usually collapse down. They get restricted, tighter, and less elastic, if you will. And his heart's got beautiful elasticity. So he was like, he was done. He was supposed to take an hour, but nope. He was done. Gave him a clear go ahead for heart, which is awesome for blood clots wise. And he's on aspirin too. I know cats aren't supposed to take aspirin. I debated over that, and I don't know where we're going to wind up with that by Monday. But he already took his last aspirin Friday. And that's Bruce pulling on the couch, which I allow him to do. Bruce can do whatever he wants to right now because he's on a short string, perhaps, less than 2 months now. He's supposed to die, and up to 6. And, if we can keep him in remission, then it can last. Well, if we keep him in remission, it just keeps lasting, right? But that's not, it's not high hopes on that, all right? He's in remission now because his blood work looks good, but he still has cancer. It's not shrunk back. We know that not just blood work, but you have to show the ultrasound, which he hasn't had another one yet. It has to show shrinkage, and then you can say it's working. And we've got no ultrasound yet. That's not for if he can make it through the next few cycles of chemo. That won't be for another 4 weeks that we do the ultrasound again. We always Bruce the best. I am now a nonprofit, so that's awesome. So if you guys want a receipt, I can give you a receipt for your donations if you itemize your taxes. The other one is, again, I want to thank you guys for being part of the channel, the subscribers that, give me, your dollar, whatever it may be. It's I know where your heart is. That's awesome. Especially because I'm not giving you special content over there at this time. So I really appreciate you hanging in there with me. You can ask anybody in the members, private channel there, members, you can ask me to make a video, and just bear with me, but I will respond and make you a video. So appreciate that, and what else do I have to offer for you? I do have quite a few B-roll videos ready to go. I got to put them together. So, and one of them was the Bolt. So just got to, get focused, find time from my regular work and dealing with the kiddies and make the video, the content. It looks like I've got one more stray that you guys might have seen that I picked up that looks like it might need what Bruce is going through, George. It might have a thyroid problem. It's real lean, and it was much more beefy last year, and it's getting skinnier. So I'm thinking, and the doc said, yeah, I got to do the full panel. We won't be able to do that until Wednesday. I'm just going to go to a different vet then, but I don't know if I can go Wednesday now to think about it. I think the Wednesday, is that I'm kind of crossing my dates up, but I think that's the one I'm supposed to take the cats to go get neutered, spayed, the kittens. All of them but one now because he's still sick with the eye, as you may have seen. All right, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for all your love. I just wanted to get you up to date and really, appreciate you standing by with me. So frangible bullet, if we can see those bullets, you'll know ahead of everybody else. Once you see those tips that I showed you, you're like, that's the frangible. Okay. Well, you can't assume that they also put a frangible in that until the doc, the autopsy says it's frangible. Otherwise, if it's a full piece of bullet, then not frangible, and we have to slow this bullet down enough where it won't penetrate the human body at that location. And so we have to go with keyholing it at reduced speed And if you look at my video on that, it's a keyholing. It will slow the bullet down. And yeah, then we have the bone, the bone there. There's just not a bone. It's a living person. It has some flexibility to that bone, not this meat that people keep shooting on YouTube, or a ham hock or whatever they shoot on YouTube, or a dead dry bone. No, it's a human bone. It has cartilage and things like that, and it can. Yeah, we don't see the penetrating wound there, the blood coming out from where it would be entering, which would be roughly by the collarbone area, not the neck, the collarbone area, and the collarbone making a part of it, slapping the flesh, if you will, of his neck, cutting his aorta. Yeah, now I'm about to mess it up. Yeah, let's say thoracic. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Carotid artery. So that it lacerates that one way or another. There'll be bone fragments, whether it be this frangible bullet, but it is an opening. So that opening will tell the story. How that opening came about in his neck, whether it was an entry wound, or was it a bone that happened to slap up against his neck and rip the carotid artery, and also lacerate his, like an open fracture. And why didn't it stay there? Well, it's, the elastic collision. It swung back. It flung back inwards, not just leaving and giving an open wound. That's just an angle I'm going for. The other one is that it's an entrance wound, and you have something like a frangible bullet that creates the enlargement. If you look at my first video, I talk about, see how his face puffs up and all that. That's overpressure internally. So his internal organ pressure, whatever it may be, it took an overpressure to stop this bullet, this frangible. Let's call it a frangible or a keyhole bullet. And you can see his face blow up. I do that in the first video I post. And you can find that. And maybe I'll put it in the content below. But hopefully you'll not worry about some magical other shooter that's hiding in the woods, which is definitely a possibility, another shooter, and it's perfectly a red herring that this guy does this. But nevertheless, he's get first degree murder because he's conspired to make this other person get away, for example. And so you still get first degree murder. So either way, you still get, the Trojan horse still gets the full punishment. Proving, if you can prove it was him running across the roof and him with the rifle, etc., you still will get the first degree murder charge because you participate in a conspiracy that's full conspired to kill this person. Someone else pulled the trigger and you were just pretending like trying to give a red herring for the cops to chase, and the other person gets to walk. That's just one of the angles that I'm sure the FBI pursues. But either way, you still get number one, though. You still get this one. And if he doesn't want to tell about his partner or everything else that's involved, then he doesn't, there's nothing to it. I mean, you're like, all right, well, I got one. Now, everybody says they let the partner go, the boyfriend, to pretend like he's a girl or something like that. The boyfriend has not got a pass, all right? There is no statute of limitations on murder. So, yeah, he can be pulled in at any time if a confession comes forward from one of the other conspirators saying, yeah, this one also conspired to do the killing. They go, oh, okay, good. We're bringing charges on this person too. So it's not a freebie. It's just being very patient, and you eventually get the conspirators considering the person who was willing to share their other conspirators. Of course, they take their time, and they can subpoena all the phone records and all the text messages that they can get hold of, as long as they're not using an app that they need the phone with, such as Signal, for example, that they need end-to-end encryption. Okay, take care, and love you guys. Thanks again.